got Kate. She's right after Matt J. Triple deck. Can I get one of you three guys to volunteer? Brian on triple deck. Stay tuned for Brian. He's coming right up. But first, we're gonna hear from this guy right making his way back up to the stage by popular demand. Here he comes. Would you guys be so kind as to clap it up big for our next act of the evening? Here he is. It's Starter. Hey, Starter, come on and get it, man.
Okay, this is my story. My story of the street here in San Francisco. I moved here actually next month will be 10 years to clean and inspect sewers. I was telling Alan a little bit. I made $100,000 in 2012. Got my W-2 and 100 college. Like, what the fuck? Flunked out of Purdue. Blue collar my whole life, right? Never had the same job for more than 2.5 years, right? I was in the Navy 5 years. Because they wouldn't let me out 2.5 years, but anyway, ended up on the street 5 years after that. The job was over. I start things. I started that company for them, right? They didn't have to hire me, but they were lucky they only had to hire one person. I knew how to run all the equipment, all the inspection equipment, all the cleaning equipment. And what I do is train my replacement wherever I'm at, because I know I'm not going to be there, probably. I just know from experience. Anyway, 5 years then on the street here. And I woke up one day, my hustle was recycling. I could never ask anybody for fucking 25 cents. I can't do that, right? I'd rather dig in the garbage. And that was cool. I was cool with that. So that 5th year, remember waking up down Fisherman's Wharf. That was my end of my route, right? And it was April or something. It was nice day, right? I woke up down there, and the rainy season was over. And I just told myself, wow, I didn't get wet this winter, right? Had a tarp and another tarp, and when it started raining, I didn't have to change, I didn't have to look at the weather. I could go out, you know. I'm the best homeless guy ever. What the fuck did I just say? Oh wow. Well, this is it, right? Now I'm looking at the sidewalk that I'm laying on, and you know, my garbage that I'm getting ready to go sell, and well, this is it then, right? I have maxed out in my profession. Wow. So it turns out I asked myself the right question at that moment, which was, do I maybe want to think about possibly trying something different? And so I went to the VA. Well, I went to Swords to Plowshare, which is a nonprofit veteran service organization, 1060 Howard Street. If you know any vets, send them there. They're amazing. And then what they do mainly is direct people towards the resources that are available. I didn't think I had any benefits coming from the VA. 27 years I was out of the Navy. I never went to the VA. When I was active duty, I'd hear the chiefs, officers, right, buttonholing somebody, trying to get them to re-enlist. And they would tell them, don't think you're getting one dime from the VA. You got to do your 20, you got to retire. Eventually, I asked a guy from the regional office in Oakland, why was I getting pissed? Right? I mean, the VA's amazing, right? I said, what was this about? When were you in? 87, 92, tap, tap, tap. Oh, yeah, they changed the law 2 years later. That was the law when you were in. I didn't get the memo, right? Anyway, turns out I have all the benefits. Anything the VA has, I qualify for it, because I always knew I was crazy. Now I gotta let it prove it. So I'm newly self-aware. That's what the VA has been amazing for me. all I knew about mental health was how to suffer with it. I finally figured out those were panic attacks that I was having for 8 years that I cured myself of, ish. I'll tell that story another time. But other than that, I didn't know nothing, right? Anxiety was my life. After I had a fantastic start on life at 18, right? For the next, I'm 58 now, so for the next 38, 37 years, let's say, all I did was go from one anxious moment to the next. I had no idea. I didn't know. I knew that I would, well, what would happen is my dad, my father, would show up at work, usually. As in the form of, this guy was so, this guy freaked me out. This is the man who overwhelms, he punches the clock, but he's the one that runs everything, and he's got all the answers, and all of a sudden he's an irrational, ridiculous, screaming fool, and right? Most times I don't even get my check, right? And that's what I've been doing, running away, right? Avoiding. VA, so, well, see, that's your coping mechanism, avoidance. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, the VA, so not only, like I say, I have all the benefits. I have a total, 100% salary, total and permanent disability. I didn't even know there was such a thing, right? I'm so screwy that I can work a job and they're still gonna pay me, because that's probably 2.5 years thing, right? That sticks with you, but it's okay. It's okay. I always was good at looking inward, right? Navel gazing, right? But it was just all swirly lights and things and chimes, and I didn't know what all that shit was about. Now I have some tools that I can navigate a little bit, right? It's slower. I've disconnected the last 2 years. Although I just paid $300 yesterday to sleep inside for a week, so that's starter is going to take charge here for a little bit. Steve don't give a fuck about Steve, and that's okay. Don't feel sorry for me. That's okay, because I have learned now that guilt and shame do not have to be attached to anything, right? That was a revelation. I kept 2 grain shovels, 2 grain scoops, the big, right? The big, 2. One next to the shame bin and one next to the guilt bin in the head, and they were labeled, and I let everybody know, don't ever pick up them shovels. Neither one, they gotta stay right there. And by God, a couple months later, that thing oh wow, that wasn't my fault. I did exactly what I should have done, and that wasn't scoop boys. I mean, again, the VA has, my life is so much better, because now I could maneuver. I understand what's going on. The anxiety, I didn't know that's what it was. CBT is amazing, cognitive behavioral therapy. Piece of paper, they got worksheets. 30 seconds later, just fill out the column, right? Oh, I'm feeling anxious. Oh, that loud noise. Why? What's my irrational thought? Oh yeah, Dad's gonna be pissed off. It's gonna make my dad mad, and then it's not gonna be good, right? But now the next column, what's a more rational thought? Oh well, Dad's not in California, and that person doesn't know me, and they're not yelling. It's just, wow. Now how do you feel? Better. Huh. Like that. 30 frickin' seconds. The anxiety. I mean, now I know, this tightness, that's the anxiety, right? When I feel it, okay, I can do it. what is it? You know, so, hey. I told this story so many times and now I'm screwing it up. Well, anyway, here we are. The VA is going, they will rent me in I moved out, I paid my own rent after a year, working Safeway.com 2 years ago. This was 3.5 years ago, 2018, when I came in off the street. They paid for 11 months for me, Fresh Start House. And I just had taken a job at Safeway, delivering groceries. And last day of training, I got my letter, that termination letter, that 100%. And everybody at the house was like, oh, you're gonna quit your job now, right? I'm like, hell no. Because then, fairly self-aware, I knew at work, I'm cool, right? I'm the best employee ever, always, every job. But when I punch out, fucking my wife goes to shit, right? Get home, click, click, click. Guess I better go pay the electricity tomorrow, right? All the mail. Postal Service is my family profession, right? All I do with the mail, wherever I live, is get it out of the mailbox, stack it up in the corner of the apartment. When I move out, throw it all away. Haven't opened any of it. I'm allergic to the mail. Well, so anyway, I moved out of the Hotel North Beach because I don't think right about things often. And I finally talked to them at Swords because they hand out the money, the federal money, and like, we will rent you an apartment and we'll pay your rent for a year in San Francisco, as long as I don't make more than $5,100 a month. That seems like a pretty good deal. So that's why I have let Starter get on the job here, because this has been since February when I moved out, and well, so there we go. Thank you.
Fantastic. That was Starter, everybody. Thank you for that. Hats off to you, Starter. Good going with all that good luck, man. It sounds great.